Happy New Year's Day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Odds Couple Show. Jimmy McNerney alongside Dan Cronin. And I have one question for you. Are you $104,000 richer today?
No.
It wasn't me either. Speaking of $104,000, the single six went out yesterday. We were all over it. The horse that busted a lot of people in the stake was given out right here in the show.
Yeah, that was frustrating to a lot of people, but I mean, the horse was stepping way up in class, but I love those old timers that are, I mean, he was just so consistent. So there was no reason why you shouldn't have thrown him on your ticket if you bet a decent sized ticket. But I understand if you were betting a smaller ticket, but I think most people went down with the big favorite in the sixth race. That's when I went down.
Yeah,
but,
me too.
You know,
today's another
one
day.
person got lucky. One
That's
person
good for
had a
them.
heck
And
of
hopefully they bet a ticket that was over $350 or over. You know,
You hope.
because then they, the new tax laws, they got away without any withholding to report.
Wouldn't that have been nice?
Yeah. It'd been terrible if you bet a $342 one. Been right under.
I'd still take
We'd
it.
still take it. Yeah, yeah. Let them know about it. But no, so we had some pretty probable results yesterday. We were all over it the entire day, pretty much, except when the horse we singled last, our best bet of the day, he went wrong in the race. And then the last race, I think you'd had to spread pretty deep to get to. But other than that, we were all over it. And
Yeah, last race I didn't like the winner.
No,
But
not out of the
but
two-hole going
We
6.5.
both really liked the $13 winner. That was,
Loved it.
That was nice. That,
yeah,
that,
still got
that helped the
$13,
day.
and we gave it out on the show. And hopefully you listen. Hopefully today we have strong enough opinions that we can make you some money to start the new year off right.
There's some wide open races today, that's for sure.
I think it's a little trickier today than yesterday, but I think we can get out of here with some money. The first race starts the pick five, of course, with that meet ending yesterday, the holiday meeting. And by the way, congratulations to Ken and Sarah Ramsey, who picked up their 16th Turfway owning victory. And I think it's either 74 or 75 in the state of Kentucky since they've been owning horses.
That's just incredible.
Yeah,
Just
and Maker got his 22nd here locally, and then Alvin Jimenez got his 7th. So congratulations to those guys. Everything resets today. No carryovers. Pick 5 in the first. It is a filly and mare starter allowance, 6 furlongs, and I like the horse that drew in, but I think there's a number of horses, if you're going to play, that you could use in this race and make a case for. How did you see the opener?
Yeah, I'm trying to beat the 13. I mean, I know he drew in. I know she won a 12-5 race, but I bet on her that day. She was one of my best bets that day. There just wasn't anything in there.
It wasn't a deep race.
And the horse win pretty easy, but on the replay, if you watch it, was on the wrong lead the whole stretch. Was running kind of sideways. I don't know. I mean, maybe she wins right back. I didn't use her. I'm not going to use her in the pick 5, so she'll probably be 8-5, and if she wins, I'll lose. But I'm going with the Woodbine Shipper, Sky Vision, the 4. And look, I know a lot of people are going to be screaming on social media, you can't take horses that are claimed off of Norman McKnight. They just don't win. But that race is just way better than here. The horse has speed. If the horse can break, sit second or third, or even be on the lead, I think Alan Garcia can just send for home, and somebody's going to have to run by that horse, and I'm not sure anybody can. So I like the 4 in there, and then maybe the 5, Fun Sucker, is a long shot.
That's a tough name to say when you're announcing a race.
I bet it is. And then, of course, my dark secret, with the other Jimenez, 12-1 for Jamie. I mean, on the outside, turning back. I love turnbacks going this distance. I think that horse has a big, long shot look in here. What do you think on that one?
Yeah, I like that horse. I used the horse for second. I did use the 13 Blushing Bell as the top pick. And I could see why you could toss her. I'm going to use her just because, the horse, 10-time winner out of 42 starts, did win easy enough the other day, just got up. And I'm like you, the race wasn't loaded, but this race, I mean, I guess you could make a case for several in here to spread. Like I'll spread in the pick 3s, but I'm gonna use the 13 Blushing Bella on top. And I do like the 10 you just spoke of, My Dark Secret, on the turn back. The horse is a winner here over the track, and is well drawn to the outside. The horse is versatile, can be up close, can come from behind if need be, but I like that horse at 12-1 as well. Then I went for a flyer down to the inside, the 2. Don't like the post position at all, but I love the trainer, very, very good trainer, and Albin has the call. Of course, he just won the leading rider title here. Now, this one's an 8-time synthetic winner here locally, coming out of a much tougher race than anything in here has been facing. But I was just concerned about the post position.
So how many in a pick 5 are you taking?
I'm taking 2, 4, 10, 12, 13.
2, 4, 10, 12, 13. So I got all just about. I'm 2, 3.
I just need to add the 5, so I might have to go make some changes.
I'm 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 12. Because I'm trying to beat the 13. And the other philosophy with this is the big favorite in the second is my single.
Is that the Wesley?
Yeah, so the way I look at it is if the 13 wins the first and Wesley wins the second, what do you got anyway?
Right.
So I'm just trying to beat the favorite in the first.
see you.
And if he beats me,
I'm going to add the 5 now just because you said that. I mean, that horse, you can make a case for the horse, obviously.
Yep.
On the turn back, 3-time Turfway winner. And there's another horse in the card later today that loves Turfway that I'm going to get to. I'm interested to see it.
At this distance, I love turnbacks.
Me
so
too.
I think the turnbacks get a big
I
chance.
especially
in there.
love turnbacks here at the track when the track has been cultivated to a deep level. And if you follow us on social media, you can find that out. It was done today's Wednesday. It was done Monday. So yesterday, I seen a couple horses like that I added my ticket, and they ran in and offered some value. So I'm going to use that horse for that as well, that reason, because I think them horses are just tighter. And on the turn back, that horse is 12-1, decent price in the opener. So we're going to spread out in race number 1. That takes us to race 2, 50-cent pick 4, and it is a maiden filly, 3-year-old, 15-10. And I think we're both single in here in agreement on the 12 Win You Bay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how they beat this horse. Of course, I've said that on a couple horses the last few days, and they've somehow got beat, and I've just thrown my hands up. But that horse in the first race yesterday, the 11. What on earth was he doing on the backside? The horse broke well, was on the pace. He choked the horse so bad, the horse lost stride, started bucking and throwing his head. He went from third on the outside, a neck off of it, to 7th, and had no chance.
Right.
So you never know what you're going to get sometimes. But
And I got that mistake too on Guess Sweet.
Yeah, that was, yeah. But with Win You Bay, it's the same type deal. It's stalking speed, coming from the inside post where, she almost won anyway in a really nice field. And now she goes to the 12 hole, should be able to just sit about 3-4 lengths off of it, make the run and down the outside. And I just don't think anybody in here is good enough to beat her. Now, maybe the 3, the 1-start horse for Roberson, coming from Churchill, didn't show anything first time at all.
Took a little bit of money though.
Yeah, it was 8-1. I mean, that's the only other horse I thought, unless the first timer for Ethan West on the rail was anything that we don't know about.
Right.
But again, then you got to work out the rail going 6.5 first time out. So I think the 12 is a complete standout. If you went to a second horse, I would go to the 3, but I'm not. I'm just taking the 12, and I'm going to spread in the first and spread in the a little bit in the fourth and the third and fifth. I'm not really that spread, so my ticket don't cost that much. But I think you just got to single this horse and be done with it.
That's exactly what I'm doing. And then in behind it, I was in between the 3 that you said, and then I was to the 2 firsters, and I'm looking between the 2 firsters. I'm going with the non-rail horse. So I just threw the 4 in, Dear Theodosa. Just because the horse hasn't proven that she can't run yet when a majority of these horses have. And has a couple decent works at the training center, nothing to write home about, but should show a little speed, I would think. A couple of those 3 furlong works are fairly quick, and she's by Runaway and Hide. So I'm going to take a shot with her in the exactas and tries. But I'm singling the pick 3s, pick 4s for me, same as you. 12 Win You Bay. I think she's a standout here for Gatewood Bell and Wesley Ward. 12-3-1 for Dan, 12-4-3 for me. Now the third race starts a single 6, of course, no carryover. That went out yesterday, and congratulations to whoever took down that $104,000 plus pool. And it is start over here today, and it is a 20-cent base bet on the final 6 races on the card. 13 and 14 are out in this race. For me, it was a very wide open race.
Yeah, I thought it was tough too. There's one horse in here that I am completely against, and if he wins, I will lose. And the horse is going to be probably 5-2, and that's Gunny Roo. I can't use Gunny Roo. You know how some horses just get too much of your money?
Yeah, of course.
I mean, this horse.
There's several of them. This isn't one, but I understand.
I bet on this horse at Turfway at 6-5, didn't run a step. I bet on the horse back, said, okay, maybe just forgive that one, didn't run a step. Comes back, I don't bet, wins by a nose. I make a bet, doesn't run a step.
Right.
That's it. I mean, I
done
don't.
with it.
I got next to him. Now you're gonna laugh. You know my comments sometimes that I write to myself. Horse is a bum. Do not bet on her ever or him ever again. That's my note that I put under the horse. So, it just reminds me, and I go watch the replay, and I'm like, I'm done. I'm done. If he beats me, it's okay. We don't win them all, but I like the 9 Band of Thieves. Obviously, the question's the distance, right? I mean,
Exactly.
can the horse get the mile? I don't know that, but I think we'll be able to stalk. I like the fact that he's dropping. Just ran a really nice race. I mean, this horse was 48-1 in that race. I mean, how strong was that race? It had to be pretty strong.
It was tougher than this, and he had a trouble trip. He should have won. I mean, he got stopped a couple different times, and I thought he was completely done. Then all of a sudden, he came back again, and almost got up on the inside, and he was much the best that day.
Yeah, so I'm taking a 9, and then I'm saving with the 7 because of the mystery of the Hawthorne Shipper. I'm not real sure. Has 2 wins on the synthetic at Arlington, which usually is a little bit better class of horse, not always, and I think in about a year it's not going to be. But for now, yes. And then again, with that one, I don't know about the distance either.
Right.
So it's a big question there. And then my other one I was using was the 10 in the pick 5, 10-1. You were talking the other day on the show about closers. This is a closer at a price. If the race collapses, because those 2 horses I like are both 6 furlong horses, if they stop, then mass chaos could happen, and maybe the 10. I just don't like Gunny Roo. If that horse beats me, I'm okay with it.
Right, I get it, and I'm against him too. I threw him in for 3rd, but I'm going to spread out in the pick 4s and pick 5s. In fact, the pick 4, I'm going 3, 7, 9, 10, 12 in here. So
in the 12, huh? Okay.
Yeah. So my top pick, I went for the 10 at a price, number 10, Cruz Diaz, for the same reasons you said. This horse did have a troubled trip last start, was slow to start, second race under the belt, and I just thought there was a little bit of pace in there. I thought the Hawthorne Shipper would go, and there's a couple other ones I thought may show speed, so I thought it would set up for a closer as well. Now, number 9, Band of Thieves, you spoke on him. Same reasons you spoke is why I like him. And then I threw Gunny Roo in only because it's Wesley Ward, and I hate to throw him off the ticket. I'm not singling him, but I'm going to include him. And then, of course, like I said, I'll throw in the pick 4s the 12, just another John as well. So that's the 3rd race, start of the single 6. And then that takes us to race number 4. And this is a conditioned non-winners race in a full calendar year to go a mile. And in the 4th race, there are no changes. Is this a spread race or is this a...
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, I don't think any of the big long shots can win, so I'm not too excited about spreading. There's going to be 4 horses that are going to be somewhere 3 to 5 to 1, and I think one of them has to win. I like the 5 the best. How do you pronounce it? Jocker Justice?
Jocker Justice?
Another interesting name. On the drop, didn't run, but did get left in the gate. Got a weird type trip. The 2-3 horses that kind of ran off from the field, and this one kind of plotted in 4th. But I think the horse should be able to sit a lot closer today, like he did in the other 7 races on his chart, which is really weird to me when a horse, breaks a length off his whole career, and then all of a sudden the rider at Turfway decides to put him 10th. Mm-hmm. It's like what on earth was that? So if
maybe he learned something, he gets a return call.
Yeah, so they did put him back on, so that I guess that's a good sign. So I think the 5's got a big shot. I do like the fact the horses win 5 races, so we do know deep in the chart the horse can, knows where the wire's at and understands it. Maybe the 4, maybe the 3, and then the 10 would be the other horse I liked. But again, I mean, what a question this horse is. Open 10,000s, down to 5, but Jimenez takes the mount. If you look deep into the back class, if this horse wakes up, he's going to win.
He's supposed to on the drop if he's.
I mean, that's a major question. Right. Is if,
Yeah. He is 10 years old, and I just on a race that I didn't think was loaded with talent. I mean, the 5 does have back class. In fact, I think he's an Ohio-bred stake winner. I can't remember what stake, but I'm pretty sure he won a stake at River. But 10 Calm Pacific, I'm going to use just on the connections alone. Grant Hoffman's. The horse has some back class. 2 wins here at Turfway. Gets the leading jockey on the class drop. And then I was between the 3, 4, and 5, and I went for the 4 Lizzie's Lure. Come out of the same race as the 3, and this one I think hopefully, speaking of jocks, learning something. I hope this jock learned something from this
Do you
horse.
want him to
last start.
send, or do you want him to take back?
Well, I want him to, whatever he's comfortable with. But what I don't want him to do is push the button too soon, like he did last time.
Right.
And maybe cutting back a 16th of a mile to the mile might help the horse anyway. But with their little bit of speed inside the horse, it's going a mile. I don't care. Sit right off the first flight. If you got to go, he's capable of back and controlling the pace. And the jock actually, the other day, he pulled off an upset on the lead, back to 50 and change up on the Danner piece. So I know he understands pace, and I just hope he learned something from the last race. I'm going to use him for second. Elwood's advice coming out of the same race. I'll use that horse for third in race.
So how many are you going to use in a pick 5?
3, 4, 5, 10.
Same 4 I got. And honestly, when I use 4, I try to look for a horse 8 or 10 to 1 because I don't like taking the 4 favorites, but there's nobody else that I can say, well, let's throw him out and throw him in, so I got a better chance.
I tried to
of
make
a
a case for that reason for the 9. I kept looking at him like, no, not. I mean, he's dropping. He's pretty good trainer. He was 4th at Keeneland, but he got beat 30 lengths, and so that was next to last. It was only a 5-horse field, but I tried to go far back enough in his form to try to use the horse, but win over the track. But to get my ticket to where I needed to be, he was the one I cut. If there's anyone I could have added, that probably would have been him.
I can see it. Now the 5th, another one that's not easy, right? I mean,
look how many I'm using here in the pick 4.
Yeah, so I mean, this is another race that.
It's a maiden special weight. Good competitive betting race. I mean, if you're right, you should get rewarded here.
Well, and that's the good thing. If we're going to use the 2 to 5 shot in the second as the single, we got to catch a price somewhere. Right. So I'm hoping maybe the first race or this race, the 5th, that there are a couple prices in here that I think you can take. And my top pick's 5 to 1. The 7 horse here between the hedges. And I just went to that horse because of the turn back. I saw a mile and 16th, run a nice easy race out of the 10 hole. Didn't really have an excuse per se, but I think the distance might have been the excuse. Mm-hmm. Now turns back to 6.5. I've always liked Alan Garcia on the poly track, so you'll never talk me off him. The outside post I think even helps him the way he likes to ride. Sit mid-pack, blast home, and I mean I think the price will hold because the 6 Frills is going to get bet, Surplus Gold's going to get bet, and I even think the 9 might get bet just a look.
Yeah, I think he'll take a little action, too, off that last race where that one kind of made a little early move last start and faltered and tried to go by his stablemate, and the stablemate came back and held second on him. That's Frills, who I put on top, and I was in between her and the 7, and I just put her on top just narrowly. I'm going to use them both, but number 7, Between the Hedges, I like that horse a lot. Daughter Union Rags, exact same reasons why you said is why I'm using her. And then I threw the 9 in just to look, and after that I could make a case for the 2. I didn't like the post position on the 1, so that was a no for me. I like her form, and
Well, I didn't like the post, and I don't like 2 for a million riders. So and the 1 hole. So when you combine all that,
a 5-year-old maiden,
it's a pitch.
I got it. That's the same reason I threw her off. There's one horse that I may use. I'm going to wait and see. I'm not going to use her in probably the early pick 5 because I'm already spread, but I'll wait and see if the 8 horse takes any money. See if that horse, I like John Langmeyer.
It's a curious
ride. Second start
now
horse.
You should know that.
Yeah.
It's a curious mount here.
So I'm gonna wait and see if any money shows up on the board, see how she looks in the post grade, but I may throw the horse in. I'm really short later on. That I know for sure the ticket that the pick 4 we're playing, we're going to use her. So just as far as the pick 5, I'm probably going to wait and see.
But wouldn't that? I know you, and I know me, and if you got the pick 5 alive,
and I don't have her,
and you're getting 500 to the 2, 300 to the 6, 700 to the 7, and you look at the will pay on the 8, and it's 4 out of 5, you're going to be ready to strangle yourself if this horse wins.
Yes.
Is it worth? How many are you taking already?
A bunch.
If you're taking 4, is it worth 5? If you're taking 5, is it worth 6?
It's probably worth it. It's probably worth it.
I mean, now that you mentioned it, I mean, Jimenez did take the mount. It's a complete guess, but hey, you got to have some flyers in these races.
Yeah. And that's where you win. So, But I'm using her in the late one here. I'm spread out. I'm very short here late in the late pick 4. So I'm going to take a couple of horses that I'm definitely not taking. You're not even going to talk me into these two. But the 1 and 2 in the early pick 4 and 5 I won't take. But in the late pick 4 I will. Just because I'm single in the last 2 legs.
I'd rather have the 8 than the 1.
Yeah.
Use it 2 to 1,
Me
O
too.
forever, and versus a horse that's going to be 25 to 1. That if the horse wins, you're going to be upstairs dancing. Either that, or you're going to be ready to strangle yourself because you didn't add them to the ticket.
So can't take them all, but we're going to try. 37 minutes to post as we take a closer look into the 6th race now. It's a non-2 filly and mare 15 to 10 going a mile. And this race, in fact, I'm going to spread a little bit as well. I'm single on the last 2 legs anyway. So this race for me, I'm using the 4 inside horses. And who are you putting on top here?
Yeah, 4 over the 3 and the 1. I mean, I looked at the 6 and I thought, wow, 5 to 2. That's shocking to me, 5 to 2. And I just kept going up and down, going, why is this horse 5 to 2? Just broke maiden. To me, that's a bad thing. Just broke maiden, going to winners. Stepping up. Got the apprentice. No thanks. I mean, I'm
not going. I can rip the right side of the page off for me.
Yeah,
the horse won easy, impressively, overcame the jockey, and it.
But didn't the 4 win impressively?
It didn't beat anything.
Didn't the 4 run second just as impressively when you watch that replay?
The horse almost went down in the
the horse
first
got
turn,
killed out of the gate, and on the first turn, and still ran second. Beat 8 of the 9 horses. And that was for 10,000, not a 2, not a maiden race. So I think more cowbell. If Burke just sits mid-pack, doesn't get too far back, gets to the outside and lets this mare roll. This is at 3 to 1. I think this is a nice bet. Now at 6 to 5, different story. But at 3 to 1, I made this bet straight on her. That's how much I think this horse.
I like her a lot as well. I like her in the 1. Dance the Day Away. 4-year-old daughter by Country Day, racing for Scotty Abbott and Dan Sainer. Alan Garcia comes out of the same race as the top pick, beating 10 1/4 lengths. So a couple lengths separated those two. Does draw the rail, and Alan Garcia has the call. After that, I'm going to use the 2 and 3 in the pick 4s, but number 2, Hope So for Darren Miller. Horse hasn't ever showed anything except when it raced here. Now, that was a maiden 30. Hasn't raced since November at Churchill, where it was making her first start off a long layoff. I'll throw her in. Of course, you got to use Moon Rags, Mark Hubley, always dangerous.
Yep, now we get to my best bet. Who do you think that would be?
I don't know. I'm singling in there, so I'm interested to see if it's the same one. Is it a 7-time Turfway winner?
It is a 7-time Turfway winner.
Okay, there we go. We're on the same horse yet again.
Here we go.
So 7th race, who do you like?
I like taking the slow road. This horse absolutely loves Turfway, and you'll know about mid-race if he's going to run or not, because there's some races that he's run that I've bet on this horse, and he don't pick up his feet. But you'll know that down the backside.
Yeah.
If he's fading out of it, if he's not really starting to grind into that race where he grabbed the bit.
He's one of those that's easy to tell. You can tell.
Yeah, if he's grabbed the bit and he's starting to come, you're like, okay.
Jamie Grubbs used to have a filly that was just like, I can't remember her name, but she was a starter filly. She had for years. Same thing.
Missy Sifa?
That's who it was.
You can't remember Missy.
It just escaped me. I can't remember them all.
I got pictures of her on the wall.
I remember her now.
I'm in the winner's circle a couple times with that one.
Are you?
Yeah, Missy Sifa.
That was her. You could tell on her, too.
I loved her to
I used
death.
to call her the little ATM machine. And here comes the little ATM machine. You could tell just the way they're, like you said, on this horse. And I'm single on this horse as well. I don't mind the rail draw going long. And, Alex Conchari rode the horse last start, so now he knows has a better feel, making the class drop from the 16 to the 8. Loves Turfway, and I think the horse is well spotted like you. I'm single in the pick 4. Of course, I'm a single in the last race as well. But who'd you use for second after the 1?
I was really trying to just find somebody else, and I guess it's the other old timer, the 10
Boy.
Purely Boy. I mean,
Yeah.
I know this is a step up. He's win at these levels before, but at 11 years old, I mean, he's such a neat horse.
Yeah. When he made that move the other day, he was way out of it, and we used him and talked about him that day. And he had such a quick turn of foot that I was just sure by the time he got the quarter pole, he was done.
Right.
And he kept going, and somehow, he widened a little bit after that. So I know it's a step up in class, and he is 11, but the horse that we're single, it's 10.
Yeah.
So
The old timers.
Yeah.
So if I did use a second horse, and if I do some savers, it'll be the 10. And then the 2 old timers will be flying. I think the 1 will be in front of the 10. I'd be shocked if he's not. The 1's more of a grinder, doesn't need to be that far back. So if he just lets him run a little bit into the first turn, I think he'll sit about 4th or 5th, and then he's just got to work out a trip from there. Hopefully he'll get him off the rail. That's the only thing on those inside posts going a mile. It drives me nuts when they turn the bend, they straighten the backside, and they never try to get off that fence. You got to get off that fence because it just.
I think we could get a couple of these guys up here, one of these Friday shows, and explain that to them, or have them explain to us why they don't.
Actually,
I want to have it. I don't know what we're going to come up with, but
we can get Johnny McKee up here. He's the nicest guy on the planet.
Have him explain it to you.
Yeah.
He had 3 winners in the card yesterday, including the stakes. So.
He can ride. I was so happy for him at Keeneland when he went down there that day and win, I think 2. Yeah, he won 2 of them down there that day, and both were just great rides. They weren't favorites or anything. And, I mean, Johnny can ride. He's such a nice guy. I'd love to have him up here.
Well, we had him up here one time explaining a few things a couple of years ago, so maybe we can work on that.
That'd be good.
So the 7th race, you're using a 110.6. I'm going to go 110.2. I'm using another 10-year-old on my ticket for 3rd, Mr. Chow, 4-time Turfway winner. You're going to go the 6 from the Hall of Famers barn. Approve this message first off the claim for Alan Garcia. So that's the first 7 races. We'll take a little break here and come back, and we'll get into the 8th and final race as we ask that you please rise as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome into Turfway Park. And from all of us here at the track, we wish you a happy new year and hopefully a prosperous one here on this Wednesday afternoon of racing. 8 races on the card, Polytrack Fast, sunny skies here in Florence, y'all. And if you'll take out your racing programs, we'll go over today's late program changes. First race starts the pick 5, just 15% takeout on that wager. Scratch number 9, Sacred Storm. First race, scratch the 9, Sacred Storm. Number 10, My Dark Secret, will carry 3 pounds additional weight. Second race starts at 14% takeout, pick 4. Simply take out the AE, scratch 13 and 14. Third race starts the single 6 jackpot wager, 15% takeout. Overweight to number 3, Friend Zone. That jockey is 3 pounds over. And scratch the 13 Noble Attack and the 14 Money Me Too. Also eligibles 13, 14 are out. No changes in the 4th. In the 5th race, please be aware that number 6, Frills, she has not been treated and will not race on Lasix. Again, number 6, Frills, race 5, will not run on Lasix. 6th race, there's a jockey change on number 2, Hope So. Hope So to be ridden by Alex Conchari. Alex Conchari on the 2, Hope So, in race 6. In the 7th race, 3 scratches. Scratch number 9, Big Kick. Scratch the 13, Prince Arlo. Scratch 14, Opportunistic. 7th race, 9, 13, and 14 are out. 8th race, scratch number 3, King Being a Hawk.
So how many races are there?
Number 5, Run Chewy Run, is 5 pounds over. The 13, Amigo Mike draws in, will run. And scratch 14, Iron Age. Those are the changes at this time. Any additional changes coming in throughout the balance of the program, I'll get those to you as they do so. Thanks for coming on out. Good luck. 27 minutes to post. Welcome back to the Odds Couple Show, race fans. One race left. We got through the first 7 prior to the break, and one race left. It's a maiden 5-claimer to go 5.5 furlongs. And how did you see this race, Dan?
Well, I guarantee you we're going to disagree here.
Well, you know I have a single.
You have a single, and I think you're going to single the horse that I've got all these notes on over here, and I didn't use at all.
Don't bet this bum. He owes me so much money.
Yeah.
You got that on this one?
Firster, never seemed comfortable, must have a drop. Drops, horse is a complete bum, do not take.
I don't feel so confident now.
Well, maybe the 5.5 is what he needed.
Well, I was hoping that, and the only reason I went to this horse on top, I remember the horse running last year, and it owes me money from last year, but I just happened to be out here a couple of days after Christmas, and I remembered the horse. I seen the horse work, and he caught my eye, and I thought he worked very, very well that day. In fact, you'll see 101 and 3, third best of 19, but I like he done it very easily and galloped out really strong in front of his workmate.
He might be a different horse. He has a run.
I don't know who he worked against, but he outworked him, 3 or 4 lengths, and on the gallop out, he just exploded, left the horse in his dust. So that's why I used the horse Link to Destiny on top. I could see going against the horse. Was a beaten favorite here last year, and in fact, the horse that won that entire race was no good, really. It wasn't real deep on talent.
In running so long, I mean, maybe these 7, 8, 9, 10 works. Maybe
give him time
maybe
off.
He's
maybe
grown up. I don't know.
Yeah. So
I just know what I saw in February was brutal.
Yeah.
So hopefully for anybody that plays the 7 horse,
I got you.
I could see using it in the pick 4. I mean, I could throw the horse in the pick 4. I can't single him. I'm 2-11-12. Now the 2 is 10-1 morning line, so I'm taking a shot. I don't usually like the 2-hole, but 5.5's not as bad.
It's different.
It's a little different, and I think the horse is going to make the lead. And I see nobody else that's going to make the lead unless somehow the 7 got speed all of a sudden going 5.5, because he didn't have 5.5 get the lead speed in February.
Right.
Now maybe he does now.
Well, you wouldn't think the horse is going to show speed either, coming off a 5 furlong work.
Right. So I'm hoping. Look at the works. Look at the works on the 2. Bullet work, then 3 out of 42. Made the lead last time for 15,000, and he folded 10. But that's just a way better race.
Goes to a new barn that is very good off the claim. Really good off the claim.
Exactly. I like this barn. The rider's fine with me. I think there's a big chance that down the backside, I'm going to be a length in front at 10-1. So I'll take my chances from there. I'll back them up with the 11 and 12. I think both of them the 11 should be closer off that 15,000 drop. Another one that's got some speed, maybe even makes the lead. If the 2 doesn't make it, and he'll be a decent price too. He's 8-1 morning line, and then the 12 to me was just a complete flyer based on.
I used him too.
If it melts down.
That's the only reason I used him.
Outside, turn back, second off layoff. I'm trying to beat the 7, but I understand if you use them in the pick 4.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm 2-11-12, and one of us will be right, I think.
Right. I'm 7-12-1, and I may reevaluate it. I have a little bit of budget. I might throw another one in there. No, but I just like the way he worked the other day, and I'm probably going to stick to it. But I could see.
Are you going to use the
could see.
one? I didn't have the one.
I used the one for third Kickapoo. I thought the horse would show a little speed as well into the inside. You know, I was worried a little bit if he got covered up down there and stuck along the fence and, just got dogged the entire time. So, but Ricky Short's a very good trainer.
You didn't mention the 4, and I didn't mention the 4, and we usually both bet straight maiden droppers.
I would have, but he hasn't raced since the last time I ran.
Yeah, September 2017 is a big difference. Now, you remember the Tampa horse?
Well, that was 5 years.
For the people that weren't here, there's a horse that ran at Tampa that hadn't run since 2014.
Yeah.
And
snuck him in for a tag.
And aired him.
Yeah, nobody thought he was sneaking him in.
aired him. So I guess we all need a layoff once in a while, but 5 years is a long time.
It is a long time, and that's you'll see. That's why I have the horse circled here. If it wasn't that, I'd probably use the horse just on.
Yeah, I don't know, and I don't know anything about the trainer either. I don't know.
I don't know the trainer. I know a blacksmith with the same last name. Maybe they're married. But if the horse runs that form back in 17, wins.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Has some decent series that works here. I'm not comfortable. I don't know the trainer. I don't know why the horse is laid off, and I'm not a fan of the pilot. So I'm gonna jump on one jump.
So my days around the favorite in the second, and then taking the slow road.
The 7th?
In the 7th. If I can get those 2 home, I'm just trying to get lucky around them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way I'm going to play the
So that's
day.
probably the advice today. I would say 2. In the pick 4, we're singling. We're in agreement. We're singling Winya Bay in the 2nd. We're going to single Slow Road. So if you can just attack the other races and spread.
You just got to hope you get a $20 horse and boom.
Yeah.
I mean, that early pick 5 yesterday.
I cannot believe it paid that much.
It was incredible it paid that much. And it was
we were all over it, and I didn't even play it. I saved my rubber bands for the pick 6.
We sat here and said 11. The only horse can beat the 11's a 5.
5 happened.
I singled the 11. The 5 wins. I got the other 4 winners, and I'm throwing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the decisions you got to make when you're playing multi-race tickets. Is what's my budget? Where am I going to single?
What did it pay? 30-something hundred.
Yeah, it was.
The horse, the 5 horse was with $7 horse. I mean, the highest price horse in there. Well, of course, it was the horse that won the stake at 13-1, but you didn't have to go too deep to get to there.
Right. I mean, that horse must have played about 30-1. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
So, I think we got it going. Now we just got to go get these tickets.
All right. Well, we got 20 minutes to do so. The horses are on the way over from the backside to the saddle and paddock. They'll be on the track in about 10 minutes. Dan and I are heading to the windows. Good luck.